Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to the video. This is another paid request, this time from my good friend Efree. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos, topics, reactions, commentaries, whatever it may be, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. Now, this is for the 1983 film Losin It. Now, Losin It, I had heard of and seen it advertised throughout the years as one of those teen sex comedies from back in the day. Thanks to the success of films like Porky's, they made a ton of these type of movies. Which, I mean, they don't really make a whole lot of that stuff nowadays. There was a bit of a rebirth when American Pie came out, and you had films like Road Trip and all these other stuff. Nowadays, not so much. It'd probably be considered too un-PC or everything in between. This was actually directed by Curtis Hanson. This is before he did 8 Mile and LA Confidential and various other movies that got much more critical praise, while this gets a 4.9 on IMDb. But the one thing interesting about this film is the cast. You got Tom Cruise, very young Tom Cruise. Around this time, he had done stuff like The Outsiders and Taps, as well before he became a megastar with Rain Man, Born on the 4th of July, Jerry Maguire, Mission Impossible films, all that jazz. So yeah, Tom Cruise. You also have Earle Haley, who later on would be in Watchmen and as Freddy Krueger in the Nightmare on Elm Street remake. At this time, he was successful. He was known for the Bad News Bears, the original. You have John Stockwell, who would be in John Carpenter's Christine. He'd be a director later, doing films like Into the Blue and some other films. I think he did Turistas as a director. Here he's an actor. Other people that show up, Shelley Long, who would be in the TV show Cheers. She's in this playing a fairly major role. Pretty much the gist of the story is Tom Cruise, Earle Haley, and John Stockwell are 3 friends in school, and we see each of their routine of them getting up while this song, losing it, using it, musing it, which kind of a catchy theme song that is at the beginning and at the end credits of the movie, and we see again each of their routines of them waking up and getting ready for school, and the differences between all 3 of them. They get to school, there's going to be a 4th member, but he chickens out, so Earle Haley needs some money, so the little brother, who's this kind of con artist, scam, selling book reports and stuff, he's like, I'll join you, I'll give you the money if I join you, and I want to go down to you guys, where they're going to Tijuana. The 3 are going there to get laid, the kid wants to go on to buy fireworks, and sell them for a bigger price up here. Always trying to, capitalist. So, Earle Haley's a bit into Frank Sinatra, and he's the guy who's always thinking about sex. Tom Cruise is a sensitive guy, kind of quiet, sensitive, leading man. John Stockwell is a bit more of the jock. I say jock, but he's more of the tough guy, resilient, tough guy. And as they're on their way, they stop at a store, and Shelley Long is getting mad at her husband. They're fighting. It was a funny bit of business where they're fighting, and the other 3 are stealing all this food and trying to be inconspicuous. Shelley Long abandons her husband, says we're done, joins our group in the car. Where are you guys going? Tijuana? I'm going to go to Tijuana. I'm going to divorce you. They go. And they're on their way, and they get into Tijuana, into Mexico. Now, before I go on, the film itself, I thought it was okay. It was alright. It's a 4.9, like I said, and I understand why. Because it's not bad, it's just I didn't think it was that memorable. Yeah, I will say, considering the stuff I've heard about throughout the years, I wouldn't say it was built up, but I'm like, oh, Tom Cruise and sex comedy. I don't know, it just wasn't as... It's definitely not as raunchy. It's definitely not as filled with nudity. There's a little bit of nudity. And I just didn't think it was as crazy or as hilarious as other films of the era, like Porky's or other movies. It just, I don't know, it just kind of was a bit of a, it was okay, but it was flat. I'll put it that way, it was a bit flat. Tom Cruise is okay. There's really nothing here that showcases he's going to be the big actor later. But he's like okay as the lead. He doesn't have much to do. Pretty much throughout it, it's him being sensitive. At one point, he has the opportunity to get laid, but he doesn't because the girl's a bit stinky looking. Talks with Shelley Long. The two of them wander around, talk with each other, get a motel room. He loses it to her. Like, Tom Cruise does fine, but it's nothing, again, remarkable. They go, yes, that's going to be to lead to all these other films in the future. Earle Haley is definitely the guy who shines the most in this. He's definitely the guy that will get the laughs out of a viewer. His over-the-top antics, like when the guy chickens out at school, and Earle just keeps kicking this trash can nearby, getting more and more pissed. There's a bit later on where he's in a store trying to buy Spanish fly that he's going to try to use on a girl. And the guy doesn't speak English. So Earle's trying to explain that he does this and he'll do this to a lady and all this stuff. And he's very hyper and smiling. And the guy's like, okay, okay. And he pulls out a gun and just Jackie's flailing, being scared and running out. That was decently funny. There's a bit that he does, you get the idea he did lose it, and we hear him screaming. And then when he comes down, he talks to John Stockwell, and he's saying the line, "It really works when you yell. You just have to yell it. It really works." Or he's trying to hit on this lady and trying to use the Spanish fly, and he sees some other guys. Hey, you guys, hey, you know what? You got a lot of pretty women over here. Try to use the Spanish fly. That doesn't exist. That's only for the tourists. I don't know. I tried on that girl. That girl? Well, that chick is my sister, man. And then Earle Haley has to run away. His stuff kept the movie interesting to me. It really was the only interesting part of the movie was Earle Haley's performance, his character, his antics. If it wasn't for him, this would be a crappy movie. And that's kind of where I fall into this, where the only reason it's not a rant is because A, it was interesting to see Tom Cruise in an early role. It's more interesting than entertaining, I would say, his role. And B, because catchy soundtrack. You got Tequila, which I first heard that in Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And also a Cheech and Chong. I think Cheech and Chong's next movie is the first time I heard it, as well as Pee-wee's Big Adventure. And because it takes place in the 1960s, so you get a lot of these old classic songs filtering the soundtrack. That wasn't too bad. And yeah, Earle Haley was the MVP of the film, I would say. Like, Shelley Long does fine. She's rather sweet in her role. Sweet and genuine. She wasn't too bad in it. Earle Haley doing some antics. He puts a cherry bomb to who he thinks is Tom Cruise's room, but is like some Marine trying to get his dick wet, and Jackie realizes too late and runs away. John Stockwell, his character was pretty blasé, but John Stockwell was a very blasé actor. I like the film My Science Project, but him as the lead is the weakest part of it. Like Fisher Stevens, he was the better part of that. That's the thing, for so many movies that John Stockwell was in, he's usually one of the weaker parts of it. Christine, he's the weakest actor. Compared to the lead, Arnie Cunningham's character, and the lead guy in that, to Harry Dean Stanton, to all the other actors. Like John Stockwell is the weakest, most wooden. In what was the movie I was thinking of? My Science Project, Fisher Steve's. The other characters are more interesting than John. And this one, even Tom Cruise, still more interesting than John Stockwell. Same with Earle Haley stealing the show. John Stockwell just getting very blasé, very boring, not much to his character. He's giving crap to Shelley Long for some reason. I still don't understand why. And Tom Cruise sticks up for her. And he's like, you don't betray your friend for this lady? And like Tom Cruise tries to fight, but then Stockwell punches Tom Cruise in the shoulder. I'm sure that's the last time you'll ever see Tom Cruise lose a fight in a movie. Because he gets punched and then kind of stammers and walks away with Shelley Long. Again, it's not even a fight, but it's more like each one throws one punch and Tom Cruise loses. Probably the last time you ever see him lose on that front. And this is the thing, it didn't seem like that crazy of an adventure. Again, Tom Cruise has the opportunity to get laid. Lady is much older and not that great looking, so he changes his mind. John Stockwell, something's happened, pisses off Tom Cruise and Shelley Long, gets in a fight with a bar, gets arrested in jail, gets the crap kicked out of him in jail, then ultimately is let out. That's really his whole story. I just told the whole story of John Stockwell. Tom Cruise wanders to Shelley Long, they did a motel, they did it on. And it's only the antics of Earle Haley that you get some actually crazy antics. I mean, the cherry bomb stuff, him trying to buy a Spanish fly and almost getting shot. The bit with, that chick is my sister, man. They get chased and they're scaring the hell out of him, ready to dump him down to this blowtorch, and the little brother has to save save his ass. So I don't know, just expecting either crazier sequences, goofier sequences, more crazy antics. I don't know, maybe that was my mistake. I think there's going to be a lot more wild, crazy situations they get themselves into. Kind of like whether it be Tom Hanks in Bachelor Party, or even, the early Police Academy films, or even some of the stuff in Porky's. Just, it felt kind of meh for a good chunk of it. Not horrible bad, but just, like I said, okay, maybe slightly entertaining in some parts, but kind of flat as well. And then the spoilers, at the end they get chased by, there's this corrupt cop who wants Earle Haley's car. These Marines who are pissed at them. These other people that were pissed at Earle Haley. You get a little bit of car chase for the trailers shots. They get to the border. John Stockwell lies that there's something in the car, I guess, to get them to the cops. And I recognize the Border Patrol guys, Joe Spinell. Joe Spinell, who's in Maniac, and he was in the first two Rocky films, and, doesn't have much to do, but it was, oh shit, great to see Joe Spinell in there. Again, kind of crazy he did this small part, because, he was in Maniac as a star. I see he was in some of the early Rocky films, and it was a job. So I don't even think he has a name. He's just the Border Patrol cop. Even then, there's not a whole lot of humor in that, other than what's in your pants. Earle Haley had a fake sock. There's nothing in it. Puts in the trash. But there's not a whole lot of humor really wrenched out of that whole sequence with the Border Patrol checking the car, checking them out, see what they have, don't have. Like I said, that kind of fell flat too. And then super spoilers, they're at the border. Shelley Long's hubby, I guess, was looking for her, and she sees him, runs towards him, kisses him, runs back to Tom Cruise, kisses him. And I just thought it was a whole weird thing where Shelley Long, like, I don't know how I feel about her character. Like, she slept with Tom Cruise, but then she's like just giddy, then goes to her husband giddy, then, like, to Tom Cruise, was like, I'm gonna sleep with you, but oh well, I'm gonna go back with my husband, but I'm also gonna kiss you in front of my husband, and then tell my husband, we have a lot to talk about. And it's like all smiles and like, I don't know, just a bit of a weird, I don't know how to put it, like kind of a weird situation as a whole. She's a hoe. She's a whore. As it made it seem like Shelley Long's character is such a whore. She's a whore. Even the way it ends, like usually in these type of films, you think there'd be some kind of nice, emotional, dramatic little moment. Even like you see later in The Breakfast Club or like these type of little comedy, but they're a little bit of adventure, like Planes, Trains, Automobiles, where you have that moment with Steve Martin finding out what's going on with John Candy's character. They have a nice little emotional moment where you find out what happened with John Candy's wife, and not really anything in this. Pretty much they go into a diner. Jack Earle Haley dumps his hat, I guess because I don't know. I don't even know why he dumps the hat. I guess he did get laid, but he didn't really talk about how great it was, or was there anything to his character where, you know what, I thought about so much, but it wasn't as fun as I thought it would be, or really nothing development wise on the characters. There's no journey that the characters go on. There's really nothing at all. It's just they go in a diner and there's the Marines again. They get into a fight. The little brother goes out, kind of looks at the camera, and then that's the end of the movie. I mean, for a coming of age story, you don't really see them come to age, so to speak. I mean, I guess that's the whole Jack Earle Haley dumping the hat. I guess that's all we did for him. Did he grow? Did he maybe like, I don't know. It's other than a few of Jack Earle Haley's antics, it wasn't really that funny. Decent soundtrack. Direction is fine. Like I said, it's not a whole lot to it. I mean, it was worth a watch. I would never watch it again. I would never pick this up. I think it does have a Blu-ray. I don't think there's any features on it, but I know there is a Blu-ray. I forget who released it. I don't know if it was Tino Lorber or someone else. I don't care, honestly. I don't know. It's definitely it's no Porky's. It's no American Graffiti. It's really of interest because of the cast. That's really it. And I don't know what else to say. So with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later.